very good morning to all of you from Penn Select School. So we are from an organization called Sruti. It's an Indian classical music and dance organization in the greater Philadelphia area. And we've been around for 30 years now, so we're not new to the scene. But we are doing more and more of these events where we are going out into the community and kind of explaining what classical music is all about from the Indian point of view. So this is a great opportunity for us, and we thank you all for being here on this early in the morning to listen to us. So we have some handouts. I have about 25 of them, so if we run short, we can always email you. That should also give you more reading material if you're really interested. There are links there. There is a descriptive text so you can continue reading. So the first speaker for today is Dr. Pitchumani. So he is by profession a research professional in the biopharma field, but he's also a great musician. He runs a music school. His primary expertise is percussion, but he's also very knowledgeable in all aspects of our Indian classical music, which we call Carnatic music. So we'll start off, and then our next speaker will join us shortly. She's still driving through traffic, but she'll be here. So with that, I'll open the floor to Siva.
Thanks so much, Malak, and good morning to everyone. And it's a nice spring morning. I'm sure you're all waiting for spring. Spring is synonymous with music. So, again, thanks for the introduction. I'm very happy to be here as part of Sruti. Sruti has been here around for quite a long time, as well as I said. We do a lot of outreach activities, and that's been increasing actually every year. And we're so happy that we're able to target multiple audiences and bring this music to them. So, my name is Pitchumani Sivakumar. I'm sure you're not getting that. It's a pretty long name. My name is Siva. You can call me Siva. And I did not want to bore you with a lot of details because I know you are just getting initiated with this type of music. And I also want to make it very interactive. And by no means is this like an extensive review of all aspects of Carnatic music, because it's going to take a while to grasp all the details. So instead of boring you with details, what I thought I would do was just focus on some of the essential aspects. What are the unique features of our type of music, and in many cases how it actually fits with the Western type of music. So I'm sure you would appreciate that comparison and analogy. So I have a few slides here. Please stop me at any point if you don't understand, because most of it I'm trying to understand myself actually. So again, my name is Siva, and we run a music school that's based out of King of Prussia in the greater Philadelphia area, and we train kids along with my wife who teaches vocal music. I teach percussion music, and we run this school, Mar17 School of Music. And some of the input for this presentation also came from my wife actually. So I want to start off by offering sort of homage to the other great musical geniuses that have shown us the way. So this is a quote by Saint Tyagaraja, who is like a star composer, who lived between 1767 and 1847. A very great composer, a very divine composer, thousands and thousands of very, very nice compositions that are targeted to the divine. So this is a Telugu language quote. It says, "Entaro Mahanubhavalu Antariki Mandaram." What that means is, we always pay our salutation to the innumerable musical geniuses who have shown us the way. So it's all of you know, music is a big ocean, and in our lifetime we cannot see the beginning or the end of it. And so there is people that have gone to great depths to understand music, to bring it to us, to explain the nuances and so on. So what we are doing is just scratching the surface here. So I did pick out some quotes on music before we actually switch to our type of music. So this is a quote by Rythm, a great violinist of the 20th century that all of you probably are aware of. Music creates order out of chaos, for rhythm imposes unanimity upon the divergent. Melody imposes continuity upon the disjointed, and harmony imposes compatibility upon the incongruous. And then Spitzer, he says that there are two means of diffusion in the things of life, music and cats. But today the topic is music. So I would like you to join us on this small and short journey into the amazing world of Carnatic music. So I wanted to take a few minutes to introduce you to the general aspects of Carnatic music, what it is, how it is structured, and so on. And again, I have some slides in the background. The presentation is here. I'll be happy to just leave it here so you can review it. But again, I just chose just the highlights so that we can get started at some point. So it's a colorful, complete, and highly evolved Eastern music system that originates from South India. So there's two major types of music from India, Carnatic and Hindustani. Hindustani is mostly from the north, and Carnatic is from the south. And what it is a perfect blend of melody, rhythm, grace, timing, compositional beauty. The compositions in this case, they're either focused on religious aspects, social aspects, cultural aspects, and so on. Beauty, imagination. There is boundaries in this music that have been set forth, but those boundaries are really, really, really big. So it gives you a lot of scope for improvisation, which is actually what distinguishes Carnatic music from other types of music where you have a set notes and then you just recite that. So here, the artist has a lot of scope for improvisation. It is an art form that is imparted only a spoonful by teaching, but acquired largely by listening and practicing. The more you listen, the more you get initiated into it. And a wholesome Carnatic music experience involves a bidirectional interaction between the artist and the listener. So there's two basic elements for any type of music for that matter, and specifically for Carnatic music, and that's the concept of Sruti and Rythm. So the saying goes, Sruti, Mata, Rythm, Pita, means melody is mother and rhythm is father. So melody and rhythm are the two critical elements of Carnatic music. So what is Shruti? It's evenly spaced vibrations whose frequency determines the highness or lowness of the sounds that create musical tones. And this factor is called Shruti or the pitch. It's a very critical element. So to render form to music, you also need rhythm. So that's the second aspect, which I'm going to be focusing on. Although melody is a very critical component, rhythm is an equally important component of this music. And that's what I'm going to focus on. Simply because that's my forte, and my expertise is percussion and rhythm. But melody is obviously very important. And the fundamental key to pitch selection is the basic tonic note, or sa, which is called the Adhara Shadja. So every other note is set in relation to this basic. So for example, if I say sa, pa, sa, pa, sa. So these are the octaves that I'm going to traverse. And if I set my tonic note sa at a different level, let's say lower Shruti, which is for male voice. Sa, pa, sa, pa, sa, and it goes on. So here is a comparison between the melody scales in Carnatic music and Western music. So there are basically 7 notes: sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, and mi. And that's analogous to the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti that we have in Western music. So when you arrange these notes in a specific scale, you get a melody or a tune or a scale. So for example, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. It's the ascending scale. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. where there are variants not of sa and pa, but just re, ga, ma, and mi. Ga and mi. So that means that sa and pa are fixed notes, and then the other notes can take multiple varieties. So for example, sa, re, re. So when you embellish it slightly, you get a different type of rishabha or the re note. So that gives us various permutations and combinations. And to that, if you have scales that have all these notes, all the 7 notes, those are called parental ragas. So that scale is actually called a raga or a raga. So a set of notes that go ascending and descending in a specific way. You deviate from that, you get to a different melody scale. So there are some parental scales that have all these notes, and then there is other derivative scales that either have a foreign note or they miss a note. So for example, sa, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ni, da, ma, ga, sa. So, and then you can have notes that go plus minus. So it can go, it can come. So for example, sa, re, ga, it doesn't have to go in order. It can switch order. Sa, ga, re, ga, ma, pa, da, pa, sa, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. So sa, ga, re, ga, ma. So here the re is before the. So then you can also have sa, ga, re. So that gives us innumerable combinations of scales. So that's how the melody scales are set up in Carnatic music. Are you with me so far? Or is it all bouncers? You're okay? Are you able to draw some analogy to your type of music? No? Not at this point? Maybe down the line. Okay. And then the second component, the rhythm component. So rhythm is omnipresent. So humans have a rhythm. We have a specific rhythm. Waking up in the morning, doing our chores, doing things in a specific order. Okay? So that's the circadian rhythm that is set by the biological rhythm. So a natural instinct of human being is you clap your hands, you tap your feet, and move in tune with the music. And rhythm is accorded a very high status in Carnatic music. It's a very inseparable part of Carnatic music. So it's the process of separating the nuclei of attention by individual parts of time. And what rhythm does, it renders form and stability to the music. And if it's music without rhythm, then that's mere cacophony. So there's two aspects that people always talk about in Carnatic music, talam and laya. And there is a simple way to distinguish it. So a lot of people confuse tala with laya. So I'll explain what it means. Laya is the inherent rhythm in any music, whereas talam or beat sequences are structured rhythmic meters to measure musical intervals. So what a talam is actually a defined sequence of beats with definite spacing between each beat, and that repeats in several cycles. And all Carnatic compositions, songs, they are, and also the imaginative passages that artists sing, they are all fitting into a definite cycle of beats. For example, if you have an 8-beat cycle, you keep count like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And then you can do it in different speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? And you might have a different type of beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you can have half beats. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and so on. Or you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have beats and then smaller units that make up the beats. So the most common rhythms or the talam patterns that you encounter for percussion in Carnatic music, they are like 4 major talams. One is the first one is the Aritham, which is an 8-beat cycle, which I just said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rupakatala, which is 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then Khanda Chapatala, which is the half-beat type of tala that I talked about. And then Mr. Chapatala. So there are 3 basic types of beats. Just a beat, which is a clap of the hand. That's called Anudrutam. And then Drutam, which is a beat followed by wave of the hand. 1, 2, 1, 2. In a specific speed. You don't have to remember all these details. It would suffice to remember that a thalam is a set of beats that define spacing in between. And you can have innumerable combinations. So a beat followed by finger counts is called a lagna. And beat is also called akshara. And then a matra is a sub-form, which is smaller divisions of an akshara. It's analogous to 4 quarters making up a dot. So, for example, if you do a beat like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those smaller units are all that matters. Because you're going to work magic with numbers based on these smaller units. So, I'll give you a very nice example. So, for example, you have 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. It's 8 beats, but it's actually 32 sub-beats that make up the entire cycle. Now, when you do a symmetrical pattern, you can do dim, 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 okay? Now, it's easy for people to count very symmetrically. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Or it's easy to do half passes. Dimmi, 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 takka, takka, dimmi, and so on. Now, but the beauty comes when you do asymmetric patterns and try to fit it in the symmetry. So there's 32 sub-beats, and let's say you want to do a sequence that spans 15 sub-beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to end with that sort of a punch, then what you do is you subtract this 5 times 3, 15 from your 32. That leaves you with 17, which is 4 full beats and a quarter pause. Now that silence and that pause is actually what the beauty is in our thalam system. So, for example, ta dim, ta dim, ta dim, dim, na, ta tik ta ta tik ta ta tik ta. So I want to do a 15 matra sequence, whereas 16 is the symmetry that I'm putting in my hand. So I need to stagger it accordingly. So the other beauty is the ability to create different, I'll skip this, it's very complicated. Yeah, so this creating numerical patterns. So it's all mathematics. So here, so like I said, the highlight is the math. The ability to use different permutations and combinations of numbers. And creating symmetry out of something that is really asymmetry. So here is an example. If you take a prime number like 17, it's very odd, it's prime, and people think that it's irrelevant. But you can still create a symmetry if you do a 5, pause, 5, pause, 5. Adds up to 17 minutes. So that's the beauty here. So 3 5s with 1 pause in between will produce a symmetry for a number like 17. Likewise, if it's 19, you can do 5, 2, 5, 2, 5. So it goes to say that even if you have odd and prime numbers, you can create patterns and symmetries out of it. And there are other types of patterns you can do. Like for example, if you do 2, 2, 2, adds up to 6. And it goes without saying you can do 1, 2, 3. Right? So you can also do a descending symmetry, which is 3, 2, 1. But the other thing, what I call is an average symmetry. So you do x minus 1, x plus 1 type of sequence. So for example, let's say you want to produce something that's 10 units long. So 5 plus 5 adds up to 10. So it goes without saying you can do 4 plus 6, 3 plus 7, 2 plus 8, 1 plus 9. And then you arrange that and then you play. So that ability to create musical patterns is a very essential feature of our rhythm in Carnatic music. Okay. Here is the next step. So you have these patterns. What if you change the number of units per beat? So far in the examples I've given you, I told you 4, 4, 4, 4. But if you just change the number of units per beat, you get something called nada, which is changing the number of units per beat. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The beauty is, mixing and matching the number of units per beat, that creates a different level of composition. Very simple example is, you take 4 beats, 4 times 3 makes 12, 3 times 4 makes 12. Okay? So your thalam goes 3 units per beat, but you're trying to force fit 3 fourths. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my emphasis, I am pushing a 4, 4, 4 sequence, but my thalam is going 3, 3, 3. And you can do that pretty much for any type of pattern. So, and it becomes more complex when you do 7 units per beat. Okay? And when I say units per beat, it's not necessarily letters. So I don't have to do, for example, if I do tati kittatum, tati kittatum, tati kittatum, so I'm filling up 5, 5, 5. You can easily read that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I do dom, takita, dom, takita, dom, takita, I'm extending and I'm putting pauses or playing more. So unit is not necessarily a letter. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's the space in between, the void in between, or pause in between, which actually is the music, the silence between the words. Okay? I did get my instrument so I can demonstrate some of what I just said. Okay? So this is the major percussion instrument that we use in Carnatic music. So no concert is complete without this percussion accompaniment. So Carnatic concert normally features make the prime singer. It could be a singer or an instrumentalist. It could be the flute, it could be the veena or a string instrument of some sort, or a wind instrument like a flute. Yeah? And the 2 standard accompaniments are the violin and the duduk. You can have other percussion instruments. I did give a few examples towards the end of my presentation, but this is the major percussion instrument that we use in Carnatic music. So this is how it is structured. I'm going to open this and show it clearly. So it's a 2-sided drum and provides the primary rhythmic support. It's a double-headed drum. It's made of a single block of wood. Usually it's jackwood or redwood because of the acoustics that it produces. And the ends of these, the 2 heads are connected by means of straps. It could be a nylon rope, it could be leather straps, or whatever. But these days, people are improvising a lot, especially artists that visit here. They get heads that are fixed with nuts and bolts. The beauty of that is you can actually increase the pitch of that head over a bigger dynamic range, as opposed to those that are connected by straps, where you're limited in terms of the dynamic range. So the heads are made of calf height, and the right side is tuned to the pitch of the main artist, and the left side is the bass side. You must have seen tabla, which is the 2 different drums they use in North Indian Hindustani music. And in that instance, the heads are separated. So you have more leeway and more vibration. In here, the vibration is more controlled because the ends are connected. And the mridanga was very divine because it symbolizes the 5 elements of nature. So this right here Anyway, so that's the right head right there. And that black in between is actually cooked rice that's heated in a specific pattern with a dye. And I was here, I said the instrument itself symbolizes the 5 elements of nature. Fire, which is the right head. Water, because the base side is usually wetted with a paste of some sort. It's usually semolina paste. And again, with technology, with science, I use something called silipatti, which is your regular mold that you use. So you can actually wet that and apply it. So you can control the tonality of the piece. So the water, which is the left head, earth, which is the wooden body, the vibrating column, the hollow inside, which denotes air and space. So it's a very divine instrument. And this is the major percussion instrument used in Carnatic music. Okay. I also want to touch upon other types of percussion instruments, some of which you may or may not have seen. So the ghatam, which is a sub-percussion instrument that's used along with the mridangam. It's a clay pot with a narrow mouth, which starts with brass or iron fillings mixed with clay. And then something analogous to your tambourine, which is called kanjira. This is a tambourine family instrument. It is a round mold of jackfruit wood with skin of monitor lizard tightly woven around. And the last one is called a jawhorn or morsing, which is also a rather unique instrument, but you could still see some people playing this in the Carnatic concert platform. So it is a wind percussion instrument. It's held between the teeth and played by modulating tongue movement and controlled blowing and sucking of air. So that's sort of a quick bird's eye view of the rhythm component in Carnatic music. Any questions before I actually take my mridangam and do some demos? Either everything is clear or nothing is clear. Which one is it? Okay?